This is the story when I made the worst decision of my life. I remember how I felt myself that days. I thought that I was doing well and I really didn't know what I was doing. One day of that beautiful day, I woke up and there was nobody by my side. There was no my perfect boy by my side. There was no Steven. I'm going to tell you who Steven is. Steven is the best man I've ever met. Or that's what I thought before he left. I used to live with Phil in Compton, California. There I had everything, a man who loved me and a good life. One day I began to doubt myself and my feelings for Phil. I questioned if he really loved me as much as he said, and if I loved him. I felt that I was not really happy, that I was wasting my life in that place and with that man. I wanted to travel and get to know new places and new people, but I wanted to do it alone, without my beloved Philip. One day, I felt with courage and took the decision. I took my bags and without warning anyone, I went. I traveled to Marruecos. When I arrived in Marruecos, I met Fanti, a clairvoyant, and she was the owner of the house where I stayed. We started dating, she showed me the city. With time, we became very united. In one of our outings in a museum, I met Steven. He was the museum guide. I immediately saw him and I knew he was someone special. We started to live. He made me forget everything, even Phil. It was very beautiful and feel love. Shortly after dating Steven, he told me to live together. I felt completely in love with him, and I thought he was just as in love with me. Of course, I should, and I pulled into his arms. When I moved with him, everything was just as I had dreamed. I felt full. I felt love. I believed that nothing could ruin my happiness with him, that he was what life had been keeping me, and that with him I would not fail. 2 years after moving together, everything began to change. He didn't come home, he would not let me out, he forbade me many things. Right there, I began to suspect his love flash. One day, I went to visit my friend Fanti. I told her what was happening. She completely ventured on me with her. She very attentive, listened to me without saying a word. When I finished telling her everything, she took me very strong by my hand and asked me very seriously, "Do you want to know what this would end?" At that time, I didn't know what to answer. I began to laugh and changed the subject immediately.
When I returned home, I kept thinking about Fante's question. When Steven came home, I tried to be affectionate and he just rejected me. I took him by the shoulders. I looked him in the eyes and I asked him if he still loved me. The only thing he did was to look around and tell me he was very tired and he did not want to talk with me. A week later I went back to Fante's house and I said very sure, "Tell me what happened with Steven." She smiled and took my hand. She looked at me and asked me, "Dina, are you sure you want to know?" And without hesitation I answered, "Yes." Fanti brought some mirrors and candles. I take both hands and she remained quiet, very concentrated for almost 20 minutes. Finally, Fanti opened her eyes and looked at me, and she embraced me as never before she has embraced me, and whispered in my ear, "This